All right, we are back at Lake Elsinore Casino, or the lake as it's referred to by the locals here, and we're in for our usual 300. So literally first hand of the session, we get dealt king, king, queen, 3 double suited under the gun, and we go ahead and make it 20. The player to our left pots it to 70, and then the player behind him pots it to 260. It doesn't end up making a difference in this hand, but the dealer called out 260 he could have potted it to. It really should have been 240. It would have been 3 times the most recent bet, which was the 70 times 3, 210, plus my 20, plus the $10 from the blinds. I could have potentially called the 3 bet, but once it gets 4 bet, I don't really have much of a decision here, so I fold. The player to my left then pushes for 300, the other player calls, and we're going to a run out. Sticking to the theme from last session, I'm going to show some hands that I fold just to show the conclusion of the hand. So the flop comes Jack 9-2, turn brings an 8, and the river brings an 8, and they both show their hands, and it looks like they both have aces, almost identical aces in fact. So here we look down at ace 8, 6-5, double suited, and a straddled pot. Folds to me, and I go ahead and call the straddle. Both blinds completed the straddle, and then the straddler made it 20. I went ahead and call. Both blinds call. We're going 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes king, jack 7, rainbow. Checks to the straddler. He goes ahead and pots it to 80. I fold, and everyone else folds, so he takes it down. So here we look down at ace, ace, 8-6, single suited in the big blind. There's an early position open to 20. Then there's 4 callers to me. And here really that I have 3 diamonds. I don't really want to raise, so I just decide to flat. Just kidding. I can imagine everyone losing their mind. I of course raised to 125. 2 players end up calling, and we're going 3 ways to a flop. Flop comes Jack 7-5 with 2 diamonds, and there's only 1 move for me to make, so I go ahead and shove my remaining 85 in the middle, and both players end up calling. Turn brings a deuce of hearts, and the one player decides to push all in. The other player calls on the side, so we're going to a river. River brings the beautiful king of diamonds, and I know obviously I got the main pot, so I decide to show so I don't get accused of slow rolling. The other player turns over his hand, and we're obviously taking down a pretty good sized pot here. So I didn't do a great job of filming this hand, but the pre-flop action was there's a couple early position limpers. Middle position player made it 30. I went ahead and called. Then the 2 limpers called. So we were going 4 ways to a flop of Jack 10-10. After a check to me, I went ahead and bet 50, and the only player that called was the original raiser. So heads up to a turn. Turn brings another 10, and I don't think I can get 3 streets of value from this, so I decided to check. River brings a 4 of spades, and when he checks to me, I'm trying to figure out a sizing I can get him to call with potentially an overpair. And I decide on half pot of 115. He thinks for a bit, calls, we show, and of course we're good. So here we look down at king, king, queen, 8, single suited to the king in the hijack. There's 4 limps to me. I go ahead and limp. The blinds check, and we're going 7 ways to a flop. Flop comes king, jack 9 with 2 hearts. The small blind decides to bet 35. There's 2 callers behind, and I go ahead and make the call as well. Turn brings the 4 diamonds, and the small blind continues betting for $80. Then the player behind him makes it 415. So even though it's a little bit more unlikely with me having the queen blocker to the straight, I mean, it is possible that they both have it. But the player betting $80, that seems like kind of a weaker bet. He could very well have maybe like a combo draw, like maybe a 2 pair with straight or flush draw. But the player raising, I mean, he's going to have straights most of the time here, so I think it's a pretty easy fold here. Just to give a little closure on the hand, because I know some people have asked for that. The original bettor, he tank folded, he showed pocket 9s, and the player that won the hand didn't show, but he indicated that he did indeed have the straight. I received a couple of requests in the last video that I should show more of the hands I decide not to play. So all of these hands you're going to see here are hands I folded pre-flop. I don't have the exact positions I was in when I was dealt them, but just wanted to run through them real quick. Let me know if you guys have any questions on any of the hands I folded. We played for about 4 orbits after that king's hand and decided to rack up. What's up, guys? Just finished up a shorter session. I played for about 3 hours. So I've had a lot of comments about people saying that they haven't ever played live PLO for a couple reasons. The biggest reason people say is the variance. Now, you can't control the variance, but you can control some other things. So for example, for myself, I play 2 $300 bullets, and I usually don't ever play more than 4 hours. I just check my stats. My average session is about 3.5 hours. So you can't control the variance, like I said, but I try to control the other factors. So I try to, control how much I'm going to lose maximum if I only show up with $600. Another thing is I try to ensure that when I'm playing, all my decisions are going to be in the best frame of mind. So I'm never going to play, a long session. We've all had those where you play way too long and you make some stupid decision at the end. So that's just, I'm not saying it's the best way. I'm just saying that that's worked for me. So pretty good day. I was in for 300 today and I was out for 800. So good profit for a shorter session. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button. If your viewing experience could have been better, please let me know how in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.